Hey guys, SKT went through probably one of the roughest offseason they have ever went through. They lost Golmaal, Khan, and Clit. I cannot believe they lost Clit. So yeah, let's talk about it. My first LCK offseason video. Let's go. So first up, let's actually talk about who SKT is as an org and why this offseason has been so interesting. SKT is one of the oldest and the most respected orgs in Korea. They've been around since the StarCraft 1 days, so that makes them like at least 15 years old. They are one of the richest with a telecommunication company backing. There's like 2 giga strong telecommunication companies in Korea, SKT and KT. Funnily enough, they're both in esports, and yeah, they've been like a really great team known for paying their players a lot and training their players one of the best kind of treatments in all around in esports. In StarCraft 1 days, there used to be this huge match fixing controversy where there was betting around esport matches and brokers would pay esport players to throw matches. And when it all got blown up and people that were throwing matches got discovered, there was actually no one from SKT that was throwing matches because, well, they were paid so well and treated so well, like they just did not feel a need to fix matches to earn extra money. And because of all the prestige and how well they treat their players, SKT has never lost a player. Like teams and players act like it's mutual whenever like they let go of each other in the off season, but it's never mutual. There's always a dumper and a dumpee, and SKT has always been the dumper. They're always the team that says, "It's not you, it's me. I'll see you later, Marin. I think it's better if we spend time apart, Bengi." Like they're always the guy dumping the person, but this time they're actually the dumpee and they got dumped by Clit and Khan and Golmaal. So yeah, it's been so crazy. And this all started with Worlds. I think there was a lot of expectation around this SKT and how well they do at Worlds, because 2018 was a disaster for SKT and they went all out getting the best free agents possible for 2019, and I expect there was a fair amount of pressure and expectations on this roster. In the kind of post-aftermath World Finals, a lot of the FPX players have came out and talked about their scrim results, how they were actually getting destroyed by SKT, and how shocked they were when G2 was able to beat SKT. So SKT themselves must have had a really high expectation of themselves just due to the kind of players they had and the pressure of LCK needing to win Worlds again, but also from the scrim results within like the Worlds tournament. So yeah, for the first time ever, they did not even make Worlds after qualifying and lost out to G2 in the quarterfinals. So a huge problem for SKT, and I think this really pushed through a lot of the off-season moves.
But the ulti comes out in such a close exchange. For now, they're winning, but Perkz is coming in. This is his hero moment. If he wants to turn this fight in favor of team, this could be the game.
He gets the
defining moment. Faker is gone. Teddy's next on the list. There's no way he can duel Yasuo. Amada's coming in, but he's just walking into the meat grinder of Perkz. Khan, can he do it? They've done enough. They've done it. G2. Khan, can he get it done? He can't. The Vladimir. They can't do it. This is it. The greatest team in the history of League of Legends, taken down by the greatest team Europe has ever produced. FPX, get ready. G2 is heading to Paris.
So let's get into a little bit more detail. How did SKT lose all these pieces? And I do really want to get one thing straight. SKT wanted to keep Khan, Clit for sure. Golmaal, I wasn't too sure about it, but we did get additional information, so we'll talk more on that in Golmaal's part of the video. So let's start with Khan. I think a really big thing that I want Western viewers to realize that Eastern viewers might know is there's a really big pressure for military service for Korean males. So Khan turns 24 in this December, and he probably wants a megabit contract before leaving for military service. So I don't think it's true that pros are limited in terms of how long they can play, long as they can keep up with the meta and put in the work. But for Korean players, there is actually a limitation. Around 27 and early as 26-ish, you have to go serve your military like thing. It's about 2 years, and when you go to the military, like you can't practice. So effectively, your pro career is done. So Khan wants a gigabit contract before his military service, and he probably wants like a long-term deal. SKT in the past have liked short-term deals with top laners and also players they don't feel are very essential. So I'm not sure why they couldn't come to an agreement. Maybe Khan could just make more money in China and that's why. But yeah, they weren't able to come to an agreement. I was like shocked about the Khan part because while Khan was like a hot commodity, I felt like SKT could keep him if they wanted, and they could pretty much match whatever China's paying them. Maybe they don't feel comfortable matching, especially with how much they're paying Faker. But yeah, this one was crazy. So Khan ended up going to FPX, as reported by Fion on Fire of ESPN. And this is ironically hilarious, because long time ago, Khan is infamous for saying 4 Chinese can't win in a Korean solo queue game, and he got giga flamed by the community, and he ended up doing an apology video and shaving his head. So yeah, now that he's joining a Chinese team, I am for sure that people will make memes about this whenever this team loses. Now, let's go on to their most crucial piece. The piece I felt like they could not lose in the offseason. Clit. Why I think Clit was so essential for SKT is SKT has always suffered regarding their jungle role. Like Banky Faker was a great jungle duo, or jungle mid lane duo, excuse me. But when the meta changed and jungle ended up being more a carry oriented role, they really struggled to find a good replacement. Peanut wasn't the right one, Blank wasn't the right one. They just could not find the right jungler. And when they were able to land on Clit, and Clit was that carry jungle that would actually boss around Faker and be a Giga Chad, he was just a perfect fit for them. So I thought it was so essential that SKT keeps Clit and does everything within their power, but they weren't able to. And this is probably the biggest loss SKT has ever suffered in offseason. I don't think there is a bigger loss. Maybe in the future if they lose Faker and they're not able to replace him, but until that point comes, this is by far in the history of SKT the biggest failure and loss in the offseason. So he ended up joining Gen.G, the other like mega paying Korean org. Like Gen.G is known for just printing money. This is an organization that probably spends the most money in Korea. So in the interview that he did after he joined Gen.G, he talked about how he wanted to join Gen.G because players here are similar in age to him. I thought that part was bullshit, but he also talked about how he wanted to be in an environment where pro players can solely focus on playing, where that part I do think carries a lot more legitimacy.
정글, 대망의 정글입니다. 정글 들어와 주세요. 정글 대박. 클리드. 안녕하세요. 클리드 선수입니다.
So SKT did do a lot of filming and a lot of content, but I don't think that was like too much, at least from my point of view. It wasn't like they were releasing like a lot of content like Fnatic is doing with their players. So yeah, so I'm still a little curious and confused on why he joined Gen.G over SKT. And my kind of guess at this is maybe he doesn't want to play with Faker. Faker isn't the strongest player in lane. He's very good outside of lane. That's how he still is one of the top tier players in Korea. But he's also known for being strong-headed. And there is more younger and talented mid laners in LCK now with like BDD, Chobi, and Showmaker. So maybe Clit wanted to upgrade in the mid lane. I just don't understand. I thought if Clit left, he would leave to China for more money, especially since he's been to China before. But he actually ended up going to Gen.G. Yes, Gen.G is still going to pay you more than SKT, and they are probably on like the Chinese team's level of payment, but yeah, I feel so sad for SKT with this. Now, let's go to the final piece, Golmaal. Golmaal received a lot of blame for those losses, and he actually personally took a lot of those blames. And in the structure of Korean orgs, the decision makers, the front office, is usually a little bit separated from the team, and someone has to take the blame for this year with how much money SKT invested in to the roster. Like Faker, Clit, Khan, Teddy, Mata, this was not a cheap roster to put. And also, at Golmaal's age, change is usually not normal. If you can stay on a team, then you want to kind of maintain that relationship, especially if a team is as high tier as SKT. And the other coaches on the team did get let go, like Coach Fly, so maybe I thought they were taking the blame. But we got all these questions answered with another ESPN report. He did cash out in China. He ended up joining VT Gaming. But the very interesting part in this report is Golmaal turned down a multi-year 7-figure deal from SKT. So it was not what I predicted, that SKT is like Golmaal, this year is your fault, you're getting kicked. They actually offered Golmaal an amazing deal and Golmaal turned it down. So maybe Golmaal wants a fresh start. Maybe Golmaal just took too much hate and damage from the Korean community, from the pressure within SKT. Maybe he just wants to start anew after being on SKT for what, 5 years, 6 years? So yeah, a really big change also. Now, how is SKT rebuilding and filling these holes? So first up, in the head coach role, we have Coach Kim joining from Damwon Gaming. Coach Kim is a legendary Korean coach. He's probably only second to Golmaal. He's brought Longju, IG, and Damwon to Worlds, and he won Worlds with IG. And he's also known for being a very manly man. So I'm not personally that good of friends with him, but I have a friend that's really close, and from how he described Coach Kim's personality is he has a set idea on how he wants things done, and he does it that way, and he's not someone to compromise a lot. He is, I believe things should be done this way, and we're going to get it done this way. So he's someone where you have to relinquish a lot of control. But if you have these kind of results, which organization would not relinquish a lot of the control to the head coach? So yeah, I think SKT got their second best option after being unable to keep Golmaal. Now, for top lane, we have Roach. So probably a lot of you guys don't know of Roach or maybe heard of him a little bit before. He's a young Korean top laner that plays a lot of carries. He bounced around from Najin to Kongdu to Genji, now to SKT. Honestly, he's just not a very well-known player or someone that's had a lot of success. So Coach Kim has been amazing at bringing up Korean top lane talent. I mean, he brought up Khan, The Shy, Nuguri. So Coach Kim believing in Roach is probably the biggest thing on his resume. Honestly, everything else he's done before just is not that impressive. But I do have my doubts about it. I don't think he'll be able to match up. He'll probably get outclassed by the Korean tops that are currently reigning the LCK, like Keen, Summit, Nuguri. These are not easy players to play against. I mean, we could have even included Khan in here, but he ended up going to China. So now onto the jungle role. This one's a little bit more interesting and has a lot more potential and upside. We have Cuds. Cuds is also a pretty hard player for me to judge. He is still way more proven than Roach. He has a very up and down kind of results in terms of the game. He had amazing success with Prey, Gorilla, Khan, BDD way back in that Longju roster. He's a giga carry, but sometimes he makes pretty boneheaded mistakes and he throws big leads. That's one thing I remember about him. This guy knows how to get ahead, but he also can throw the damn game. He recently ended Season 9 with rank 1 in Korean solo queue. That definitely means something. He beat out Dopa. He has insane mechanics and he's pretty much a raw gem that needs to be refined more. And one thing that's interesting is he's getting reunited with Coach Kim from the Longju days of success. Now, overall, SKT is becoming a new team. The SKT Dynasty, as we know it, is over. Faker plus Golmaal is no more. Faker is not head and shoulders above every other mid laner in the world anymore. Faker is bigger as a name than he is as an actual player. But it doesn't mean things are doom and gloom. A new dynasty can begin with Coach Kim, Faker, and Teddy. That's a really, really strong core to build around. And all the new players joining in. They have a lot of trainees that are joining SKT also. I am not too sure how good these guys are going to be, but SKT has been a team that's been pretty good about bringing up players also. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my first LCK offseason video. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what other LCK teams you want me to talk about. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the video. And remember, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco.